Starting part 6 off with a bang. Or bam, rather. I guess that's the sound that bombs make. Bangs are guns. Last time we saw his Goon. This time we get to meet his boss, one of the only bad guys in this game that was actually featured in a movie, Voyage. And let me tell you, for being his inferior, the Voyage Goon doesn't really differ much from Voyage. Voyage has 3 abilities, while his Goon only has 2. Voyage has both of the abilities his Goon has, plus 1 more. What makes Voyage so great despite his explosive and sharpshoot abilities that the Goons also have? Agility. Yep, that's it. Voyage is the boss because he's a tad more flexible and he can do flips and stuff. In this game, Voyage gets away just like in the first Incredibles movie. However, in this game, you get the chance to get him once and for all through a crime wave. In fact, his entire boss fight with Voyage at the end of the crime wave is in this weird TV filter. It's kind of cool but also distracting, but whatever. Voyage is in jail and that's what matters. Psycwave here is another random super that was just plopped into the roster to make it look more full. Psycwave has 3 abilities, 2 of which are new to this series, but neither are new to the channel. First, let's get the familiar ability out of the way. Sharpshoot, she shoots mind balls or something. Now here's the exciting part. The first new ability Psycwave has is mind control. It's something we've seen in LEGO Batman along with several LEGO games since then. Basically, if there's a person behind some wall with a lever or something that you yourself can't get to, someone like Psycwave can take control of them and interact with whatever is in the room. It hasn't changed at all from LEGO Batman. The other ability is Levitate. It's basically just the Force in LEGO Star Wars games. You can move stuff with your mind, telekinesis, whatever you want to call it. Psycwave is actually seen in the Golden Years level, just hanging out. Too bad an Omnidroid ended up killing her. That's a darn shame. I remember when this villain was hyped up during the promotion for Incredibles 2 before the movie was released. I can't say I was upset when I saw that the guy in the Screenslaver costume wasn't actually the real Screenslaver, but rather just a brainwashed pizza guy, because I expected to be bait and switched somehow, but still lame. The Screenslaver has 3 abilities, and basically just makes him an upgraded Evil Endeavor. Like Evil Endeavor, the Screenslaver has Hacker and Repair, which, makes sense. The other ability the Screenslaver has is Mind Control, which I introduced in the last segment. I get that the Screenslaver is able to brainwash people through screens, but how can he mind control people in person, like how he does in Level? He's not making them put on glasses. However, I know they're just trying to make Screenslaver more useful, unlike his pizza delivering counterpart from the movie. Brick is another one of the supers of Winston Dever's Comeback Gang, but this Brick looks absolutely nothing like she does in the movie. But notice the minifigure in parentheses, meaning that there is another variant of Brick. This Brick is based on the Brick that was in the LEGO set called The Great Home Escape. I guess the makers of the set didn't want to make an accurate LEGO Brick from the Incredibles movie, you know what I'm saying, but it would cost more money to produce. But the Brick we see right here before you, this is not even an attempt to be accurate. Anywho, their lack of care for what Brick would look like in minifigure form made its way into the game. Brick has both immunity and bulldoze, something that the minifigure Mr. Incredible has. But the minifigure Brick has one more ability, immunity. Those with the immunity ability have gray hearts and are completely immune to damage. This is very helpful for obvious reasons. Anchorman is a villain we have yet to cover, but this guy is his Goon, if you can't tell by the name. The Anchorman is one of the crime wave villains, so you'll get used to fighting these Anchorman Goons in the 2 crime waves that feature Anchorman as a villain. Anyway, the Anchorman Goon can be pretty useful. He outranks Voyage, and that's a villain that escaped the clutches of Mr. Incredible himself. Anyway, let's get to Anchorman's Goon's abilities. One, he has Dive. As you can see, he has this decaying Davy Jones crew-esque look to him, so you can bet your bottom sand dollar that he can swim fast. Second, he has the explosive ability. This guy throws explosive fish, so he can destroy silver Lego objects. Finally, he has sharpshoot, which is also referring to the explosive fish that you can aim and throw. Not all bad for a goon. Yes, Brainfreezer the villain gets 2 different types of goons rather than just one like the rest of the Crime-Wave villains. That's one more goon than Voyage, and he was actually in a movie. I guess it's because Brainfreezer was the first Crime-Wave villain, so she gets special treatment. It goes without saying that Monster Goon is way cooler than the regular goon, because this dude's literally melting ice cream. Personified. He's got more and better abilities on top of that. The standard Brainfreezer goon has sharpshoot and explosive. The Monster Goon has neither of those, but the 3 abilities that he does have are abilities we've already seen. First is agility, of course, but in addition, the Brainfreezer Monster Goon can shoot a beam of ice, much like our beloved Icebreaker from the last part. You know, Icebreaker, the most popular ice-related super in the Incredibles universe. The Brainfreezer Monster Goon can both extinguish fires with it and interact with ice bricks, so that's not bad at all. Here's another super that was defeated by an Omnidroid, and also someone I wouldn't expect you to be aware of. That's okay. He's a super of the Golden Years, sidekick of another super we have yet to cover. According to the wiki, he had an obsession with maintaining his hair, probably because his powers led to him always messing it up. Apparently, he was the first super to be able to defeat an Omnidroid, and of course, he was eventually killed by another one. So, the fact that he was even able to defeat a single Omnidroid is surprising to me. This guy is in the same category as Zephyr in terms of powers, but this guy was given the ability I suggested Zephyr should have, along with the abilities she already has. So yeah, Macroburst has Extinguish and Sharpshoot for having air bending, along with Flight, that's what Zephyr should have had. So yeah, Macroburst is better by default, even though he looks like an edgy Peter Pan. These next 2 segments are going to be insane time filling for a very simple reason. Stormicide here is yet another super of the Golden Years whose power is vapor emission. Basically, how that works is that she has to absorb air through her body somehow and then be able to emit it through her hands or something. So how does that translate to this game? The same 3 abilities Macroburst has: Extinguish, Flight, and Sharpshoot. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but to have the same exact 3 abilities as another super, what's the point of both supers being in a community if they aren't unique? Anyway, let's analyze her name real quick. You know, after about 15 seconds of thought, I realized something. So, suicide is killing oneself, right? Patricide is the killing of one's father, from the word pater, meaning father in Latin. Stormicide must mean the killing of a storm, which the super can do, because she can use air to disperse storm clouds. I know, I'm a genius. Let me get this out of the way. Dehydra is a super briefly seen in Incredibles 2 who has the same abilities as Stormicide and Macroburst: Extinguish, Flight, and Sharpshoot. Now, Dehydra is a stupid name for the super and her powers. Her power is officially known as Psammokinesis. Like, what even? Right? Apparently it's the ability to be able to control sand. I don't know why sand specifically, but that's what it is. How it translates to this game as the abilities she has, confusing to say the least. Honestly, when I first played as her, I thought the orange particles on her hands and like what she shoots was just like really, really polluted orange water. But no, that's supposed to be sand. She's definitely going to be a problem once supers are legal again, because she's going to be leaving sand everywhere.
I don't like sand.
Also, she can pretty much only operate on a beach or a desert anyway. Next we have one of the most iconic characters from The Incredibles, Edna Mode. But this is the butt ugly variant of her. Here's a little fun fact. This variant is called the Juniors variant. However, Out of all physical LEGO Incredibles branded merchandise, this specific Edna mode minifigure was the only polybag that wasn't branded as juniors, while all the other LEGO Incredibles sets were juniors, 4+. And no, the LEGO Disney collectible minifigure series doesn't count since it isn't strictly Incredibles. Anyway, Edna mode has 3 abilities. First, look at her height. Okay, crawl hatch makes sense here. Second, Edna is what the kids call a techno demon, so she has hacking capabilities. Finally, her most interesting ability, and the one we haven't seen in a while, remote control. Instead of Linguini pulling out Remy, Edna mode pulls out a little drone to run around. Too bad this variant of her is hideous.